I think that was slightly early stoppage, but February the 14th, 2025, Xander Zayas gets a ninth round stoppage, very last minute of the ninth round against Asawa Spoomer via body shot. And the question I have is,
impressive night from Xander Zayas, Timmy.
Do you view Xander Zayas as being a special fighter? I'm not quite there yet. 21-0 with 13 KOs. If I'm correct, isn't he the WBO mandatory now? Somebody let me know. Or is he one more fight? There's Roy Jones Jr. Or is he one more fight from being a mandatory? Let's look at the body shot, by the way. By the way, there was two mean low blows early. Ooh, look at the elbow drop. There were two mean low blows by Zayas earlier in the fight, and also he was hurt in the fourth round at the very end. Either way, the end looked at near for Sawa Spoomer, but listen, dude can fight. It's just that for a guy like Xander Zayas, the style, he was tailor-made for him. But the question is, when we look at the rankings at 154 pounds, where do we rank Xander Zayas? Now, he passes the eye test somewhat. But what happens if he runs into a pressure fighter who he can't keep off of him? I mean, we see he can go, like late. I guess we can say that. What happens to when he runs into a slick boxer like himself, And now that he's in the deep end, I'm wondering, see, you got Crawford Fundora. We don't know what Crawford's going to do after the Canelo fight. That's supposed to be happening. We don't know. Let's listen in.
Xander Zayas! He landed 86 body punches in that fight. But the last few, they closed the show.
By the way, for those who don't know, ESPN and Top Rank are ending their partnership in August, I believe. Rumors are that Top Rank's going to go to the Zone. I guess we're not going to hear from Xander Zayas in a post-fight interview. The main event, Denis Berinchyk versus Keyshawn Davis, is up next. So far, very solid card by Top Rank. But anyway, moving on. You have the IBF champ, Bakhram Murtazaliev, who is still, I guess you can say he's the boogeyman. After putting Tim Tszyu down, but it depends on how highly you rank Tim Tszyu. Terrence Crawford is the WBA and the WBO interim champion, the mandatory for Sebastian Fundora. Sebastian Fundora is returning in 5 weeks. I believe that's March the 24th. Against a Cordell Booker on PBC on Prime. He's had a hell of a year from the Tim Tszyu fight in that upset to supposedly in talks with Errol Spence after his team tried to screw Tim Tszyu out of his rematch clause. Had a chance to fight Terrence Crawford. His team blew it. And now, look, he's fighting on regular Amazon Prime against Cordell Booker. Virgil Ortiz is going to be taking on Israel Madrimov next weekend. Looking forward to that fight, the big Saudi card, headlined by Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker. You have Jamel Charlo. We don't know what he's doing, but do not be surprised if they make Fundora versus Charlo. But how does that really sell? I think PBC is on their last legs before they end up with the Saudis. But let's keep it on Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas has been around since 2019, the end of 2019. And I'm going to say that a high percentage, something like maybe 95% of his fights, 97% of his fights, have been televised on Top Rank, or you can, they're available, they're online. So we've been watching this guy. We've been watching him. Now, he stepped up, I guess you can say, against Patrick Teixeira. That was a step up, former world champion. So, you can kind of, say that. But for the most part, he's been kind of coasting a little bit. And now he's in the deep end. So does he beat Charles Conwell? I think that fight's going to happen. And do not be surprised if Xander Zayas' next fight is with the Saudis. I think he'll beat Josh Kelly. Charles Conwell, I'm not sure about. But also, I don't never think that we'll see Terrence Crawford and Xander Zayas. We don't even know what Terrence Crawford's run at 154 is going to look like, and if he's going to take an interim fight sometime in the next couple of months before he's supposed to be fighting Canelo in September. So as you can see, the 154-pound division, it's stacked. It's a little bit top heavy, by the way, but it's stacked. Erickson Lubin is going to be fighting on Pro Box. That's another PBC fighter. Was a $200,000 purse bid, and PBC wouldn't have never let that shit fly 4 or 5 years ago, but he's going to be fighting on Pro Box. Sergey Bohachuk, we don't know what he's doing next. What is he going to be doing next? I'm sorry, I covered his last fight, but I forgot when it was. Okay, I remember now. All right, there was shenanigans with that where Islam Madrimov got quotation sick. But, for example, let's just talk about the movers and shakers in the division. You got Bakram Murtazaliev. Let's just put Terrence Crawford with an asterisk next to his name. Jermell Charlo, same. Fedora, Virgil Ortiz, I already said Fedora, Josh Kelly, Charles Conwell, Xander Zayas, Jesus Ramos. He's up there now, 154, right? Yeah, he's been up there. I'm tripping. Vito Melnicki lost earlier tonight, but I'm not really going to count him as the top echelon of guys. But basically, that's pretty much it. You got Terrence. Let me start over. I was watching the build-up for Baranchek versus Keyshawn Davis. And the Rising Stars rookie game is on, so I'm distracted. So you got Bakram, and this is no particular order. You got Bakram Murtazaliev, Terrence Crawford, Jermell Charlo, Sebastian Fedor, Virgil Ortiz, Sergey Bohachuk, Israel Madrimov, Charles Conwell, Xander Zayas, Jesus Ramos, Erickson Lubin. I guess we didn't count Tim Tszyu, Colin Walsh. And I'm talking about the movers and shakers in the division. As you can see, that's a lot of names. It's pretty stacked. Cordell Booker, you got to count him because he's having a title shot against Fedor. So it's a very stacked division. And I'm not sure where Xander Zayas fits in. And even if you take Terrence Crawford and Jermell Charlo out of the division, Virgil Ortiz is there, but at the same time, we got to see how he looks against Israel Madrimov, and I don't think he's going to beat Israel Madrimov, by the way. And remember, I'm Chicano. Well, I'm not. I don't identify as Mexican anymore. I thought about it last year, identifying as Puerto Rican, but I thought about it, it just wasn't the right fit. But anyway, it's 2025. I've been really trying to stick to being Afro Latino X, for those who don't know. So respect my pronouns. Realistically, I'm going to say this. Do not be surprised if we see the Charles Conwell fight next. Don't be surprised. Or Josh Kelly. It's going to be one of those two. And I feel that Crawford's going to be forced in a situation to have to vacate that belt. But the main event is on the way, so let me get out of here. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and TstreeT Controversy with 5v360.